Alright, good morning, afternoon, or evening, everyone. Today I'm going to be covering the Tier 9 Tech Tree Heavy Cruiser, the Saint Louis for the Tech Trials series. Here it is. Of course, this is found in the French Heavy Cruiser line. Well, obviously not the large cruiser line, because there's two. Heavies, I guess you can say. There's no real lights yet. Maybe one day they can branch off from La Galissonière and make a light cruiser line, which is my dream. Of course, to be a in between Henry and Kleber, which would be really fun. But there are, of course, two French cruiser lines that lead up to tier 10. The Marseille line, which is, I would call them large cruisers, or here it says super heavy cruisers. And then here we have the Henry line, which is heavy cruisers. And we are going to be looking at the tier 9, which is Saint Louis. I've been playing Saint Louis recently, and I must say, it's honestly quite fun. So I'm quite happy to make a video of it, and obviously try to cover as many ships as possible. But do let me know in the comments below what ships you do want to see, or if you do have any questions apart from the ones I talk about in the video. Apart from that, let's get into the armor layout. The first thing we're going to be talking about, which is the armor layout here. 25mm nose armor, 27mm deck armor, 27mm side armor, and 25mm aft armor. Quite interesting. Not really crazy armor. It's quite bad. It's not the same as the Henry, I must say. So you have these cheeks which are super exposed and on the outer sections. You must be super careful with that. I don't believe Henry has these bulges going out. No, it doesn't. Everything's like inside. The thing with it is the Citadel sits really high, as you can see. And it doesn't like, it's not like Henry where it's kind of like black hole armor. Here it kind of is, but here it's definitely not. It sits right outside, so when you're kind of angling and you are broadside-ish or whatever, but you're gonna take a lot of damage, so do be careful with that. Apart from that, that's the armor layout. Let's take a look at our commander build. We have Grease the Gears, Gun Feeder, Priority Target, Superintendent, Survivability Expert, Concealment Expert, Adrenaline Rush, and Top Grade Gunner. If I were to pick the skills one by one here, because some of you have been asking me this, I would take probably first Gun Feeder, then Priority Target, Superintendent, then Concealment Expert, then Adrenaline Rush. If possible, try to get these very quickly. AR and SI you can replace, and then take top grade, and then take SE. SE is the last one you should be taking. Another thing is for the equipment, I have main battery mod 3, concealment system mod 1, prop mod 1, aiming system mod 1, engine boost mod 1, and main armaments mod 1. And for our permanent camouflage, we have this one, which also has an alternate. And if I can turn on the space camos to show you, there's also this one that's available for the Saint Louis, but I don't think you can earn it anymore. Do correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, please. But I don't think you can earn that one. But this one you can definitely earn or buy. Well, it's only 200 doubloons, but it's always up to you. Anyway, so I'm going to be covering the ship characteristics right now, so I don't have to cover them in the middle of the game. So let's take a look at its characteristics. So for survivability with SE, we have 44,950 HP with a 19% torp hit protection on the side. Not sure where it is, but it's 19%. Then you have artillery. You have 9.7 second reload with reload mod. Remember, that's going to get buffed with Adrenaline Rush. Top grade gunner is going to get buffed, so that's quite cool. But yeah, 9.7 second reload, 2.8k alpha, 17% fire chance, 34mm of pen. Remember, these guns aren't as big as Henry guns. These are 203s, so they don't have as much pen as Henry guns or alpha damage. So you have to keep that in mind. But they're still quite good for tier 9, you have to keep in mind. Just not obviously as good as the Henry 4 guns. And you have 18.3 kilometer gun range, which is quite cool. And here's your initial velocities. The HE is slightly faster, but the AP obviously has more alpha because it's AP. Torpedo tubes, you get 9 cam torps, 3 per side, 14k damage torps. They're quite decent, I mean, for situations, because they have really good torp angles, and I will show you in game. Maximum speed 34.7, But you also can increase that with engine boost, 20%. So you can go quite fast in this thing, over 40 knots in the San Luis, which is super nice in a cruiser at tier 9. And the rudder shift is 10.2, 720 meter circle radius. And for concealment, we have 11.7 detection, which isn't too bad, to be honest. We also have hydro, speed boost 20%. I don't recommend taking fighter or spotter. Speed boost is definitely the one. You also have repair party, so heal, which is nice. But most tier 9, I think every tier 9 cruiser has a heal. And then you have main battery reload booster, 50%. So you can get 50% buff, which I forgot to mention, on your reload. So you can get quite a good reload for a bit. And you have 5 of those with superintendent, so that's super nice. Airstrike wise, 4.2k damage, and they are air based, so that's kind of awesome. But you only get 2 bombs. I mean, it's better than having ship based, right? Another thing is the AA defense. The AA defense is pretty miserable, to be honest. I wouldn't say it's any good from personal experience yesterday as well. But that's pretty much the San Luis. I think we should go into our game in it and talk about the ship a bit more. Alright, so here we are on the Atlantic. We actually didn't get a super ship game today. I'm going to be going... let's go A side. So yesterday I had an extremely good game in the San Luis, which I probably won't be showing you because of reasons, I guess. But we had a really good game yesterday on stream with San Luis. We ended up getting 280k in it, which was an incredible game, to be honest. We were playing with Gang, and he was in Giuseppe Verdi, and we basically pushed down a flank, and we had just an extreme time. Obviously, we were fighting super ships, so it was a bit... it was a bit annoying, I guess. But we dealt with it, and we actually did quite well that game. But I'm not going to be featuring it on the channel, because I kind of want to make a tech trials on this ship, so it'll be a bit more official, I would say. Alright, we're in range. It's time to load the speed boost. And it's time to pre-kite. What does this mean? We're going to be angling away from the enemy team. Of course, as we can see from the ACAP, if we take a look at the minimap, guys, there's a U-190. So we have to be careful. We can't go bow into a submarine. We can't even be around the submarine without him kind of like pinging us. So we have to be a bit cautious around him. But there are some ships we can totally farm here, such as that the Duke of York, Musashi's. That would be quite awesome. Of course, we do get overmatched by Musashi, so we have to keep that in mind, guys. We get overmatched everywhere by Musashi. And as we showed you, I showed you the under the guns, there's these exposed citadel sections, so we have to be quite careful. Now, I'm saying the word careful a lot, guys, in this video. Well, that's because this ship requires you to play carefully. If you don't play carefully, you're going to take a lot of damage. And if you take a lot of damage, you're not going to live a long time. And if you don't live a long time, you're not going to output the unnecessary damage that you're going to need to actually end up doing well in the game or winning the match. So keep that in mind. Our submarine's about to get G'd on, we say, in the hood. He's going to get G'd on because, well, this guy is going to click G and the submarine will evaporate. And after the submarine will evaporate, I think the set will go dark, which would be quite unfortunate. I'm trying to reload boost him. I press my I key, so I get like 3 reloads in the time I get 2 normally. Sadly, we don't end up killing him. We set him on fire. Is he gonna get respotted? No. He is quite low. He has no healing ability, so it's not the end of the world, the fact that we got him quite low. He is also on a permanent fire, so we are going to be doing a decent amount of damage. I don't think he's actually going to end up dying, but you know, the lower HP he is, the better, because now he can't play as aggressive, or if our CP spots him once by accident or something, we can actually end up doing some damage to him. So there's a submarine pinging our Duncan over there. So our Duncan is being harassed, one might say. I'm just gonna launch planes in that general direction and hope we land one, at least one bomber. But it's unlikely, obviously, because it doesn't actually show you exactly where the submarine is. Because if it did, well, he just die instantly, right? So let us go for the Duke of York. He's, of course, a tier 7 battleship, no armor. I was asked to cover it in a fresh look soon. I will try to be covering the Duke of York, because I have covered King George V in tech trials. That was my first tech trials, actually, a month and a half ago. I will try to cover the Duke of York in the future. It is very similar to King George, but it's also quite different. Now, this Duke of York has DCP'd. So what are we going to do when someone DCPs, guys? We're going to use our reload booster. But why? So we can light that permanent fire, guys. We want that permanent. We got 2 permanents here. Quite good. That is what we want. Why? Because then we can get a lot of damage. Because he can't DCP it. And they will be stuck on him forever. These torps are going to be homing on us. Not those, but there's going to be more torps coming. Submarines definitely in torpedo range. They're not going to run out. Also, if I sound a bit tired, guys, it's because I'm recording this video right as I woke up, by the way. Oh, slow down, San Louis! Please! The sad part about DCPing the ping is, well... sometimes a rogue torp like that will hit you and it will set you on flood. Luckily, I was giga lucky this game. I didn't get set on flood. Okay, there's a submarine there. Let's see if we can drop him right outside ASW range. Oh, he's so low! I should have shot him. I didn't know he was to get spotted again. I should have taken a look at my map, guys. But I think Duncan gets him. I caused flooding on the submarine and splash damage hit. Alright, the Duncan ended up getting the Z31. I'm quite happy with our shot on him there, because we actually did a decent chunk of damage on him, which I'm quite happy about. Because it was quite a long-range shot, but he was moving in a straight line, so it wasn't too impressive. Did the Duncan just DCP my fire? Let's check. Yes, he did. Sorry, not the Duncan, the jump bar. Did the jump bar DCP my fire? Yes, so we're going to be reload boosting again. And what this means is, like I said before, we're going to try get some permanent fire. Sadly, we are full broadside here to this. We're not actually full broadside, but we're showing cheek to the Musashi. As I told you before, you shouldn't be showing cheeks in this. They are very, very easily punishable. Because they sit on the outside, basically. They sit right on the outside of the ship hull, the citadel. Musashi shot me from B there. That is quite scary. But it's okay. And the gun angles, something else I want to mention, because I didn't mention it at all yet. They're really bad gun angles. The gun angles on the ship are really bad when pushing and when kiting. They're not giga angles, that's for sure. So you do have to be cautious with this ship. Careful. Like I said 100 million times. I don't actually know how their submarine died. Wait, how did their submarine die? Musashi's shooting me from mid. I don't like that. We can just go dark at will though here, so it's not too bad. Still sucks though. We're gonna get hit by a cyclone here, which is... it could be seen as a good thing, it could be seen as a bad thing. I think it's mostly a bad thing because we're fighting battleships. If we're fighting other things, maybe cruisers or something, it would actually be pretty decent. The fact that we're fighting a Musashi, I mean, we're gonna go into range of him and he's just gonna kill us instantly. But we're gonna do that anyway because we want torpedo damage. I'm gonna save my reload boost here. I don't want to die. We're able to use our back gun because of the island. Musashi up north died. I'm actually going to turn in here, which could be seen as suicidal, but really and truly this game is going to end shortly because of the points. There's 3 minutes 52 seconds left. This is one of the mods I really like having installed, score timer. It tells you how long you have to make a play. Now obviously this changes every kill because it updates every kill. You know, it depends on the points left to reach the top. Points increase or decrease depending on kills. So we have 3 minutes and 48 seconds if no one dies for us to get some extra damage here. We're going to try run it as fast as possible. Sadly, we do have a Duncan there who's going to torp everyone, but he is quite low. We'll see. But let me skip this part so I don't bore you to death. Alright, here we are against the Musashi, but it's okay, we have reload boosters. So we're going to open up with our armor piercing 8-piece shells, and we're going to do quite a lot of damage. We can't citadel him like we can in Henry at these ranges, but what we can do is do a lot of damage, and the submarine comes in and ruins our fun, but it is what it is. I'm sad the submarine picked my Musashi instead of this John Bar, which is also broadside. And I have AP loaded. So this is super wonderful, super coincidence. Not really coincidence, we saw this happening. The Musashi and the Jambar were both here. So we're just going to try to output as much damage as we can to the Jambar. And when we do, we're going to be quite happy. The one thing I really want at the end of this game, which I think you guys in the comments probably know already, is the carrier. Can we find the carrier to save our damage this game? By save our damage, I mean we already have really good damage. I think 150k is awesome in a San Luis. But if we can find the carrier, that would make our happiness quadruple. The only issue is I don't think we're going to end up finding the carrier, because it is quite hard. We don't exactly know where he is. I think he's in this generally direction, but there's only 1 minute left, as you can see. Sadly, I'm capping. Also, I do want to leave the cap, so we do have that full 1 minute. Seattle will die on B cap though, so it's just unlikely we're going to get the carrier, sadly. So I do apologize to the YouTube comments who are super excited right now that I might get a carrier kill at the end of the game. Sadly, that won't be happening. Unfortunate, I must say, but it is what it is. We get to get reset. 46 seconds till the game is over. Yeah, he's launching planes from here, so we're not going to be getting him, I think. And 7 seconds left in the game. So yeah, we'll just take a look at the score. But we won. 160k is still quite respectable of a match. Alright, so we ended up getting 160k damage, 205 shell hits, 2 kills, 11 fires. Team score, we ended up getting 2.1k base XP. Quite decent, to be honest. No achievement, sadly. Detailed report, 57k on a Duke of York, 54k on a Jambar, 29k on a Musashi, and Z31 we got 15k on. Credits and XP, here you go. But something you have to keep in mind is most of our damage came from HE, some from AP, and some from fires, 34k from fires. For my commander build, I have Grease the Gears, Gun Feeder, Priority Target, Superintendent, Concealment Expert, Survivability Expert, Adrenaline Rush, and Top Grade Gunner. In terms of my equipment, I have Main Battery Mod 3, Concealment System Mod 1, Prop Mod 1, Aiming System Mod 1, Engine Boost Mod 1, and Main Armaments Mod 1. So that is my San Luis build. In terms of the tech tree, where you can find it, the ship, it's located at tier 9 on the Henry line, the Conde line. It's a great ship, I think. It's quite good. If we take a look at my statistics, I actually don't have a lot of games in it, to be honest. Let's go check it out. Let's find it. We have to find it, obviously, which might take long. Boom, found it. Okay, now 58% win rate. This has gone up by a lot this week. Because, well, I didn't have a lot of games in it. And, well, we're pulling it up. I think I won like 5 in a row now in it. So, it was actually like 48% or something. Now it's 58. So, it's not too bad statistics-wise. As you can see, 135k average. Of course, I'm pulling this up slowly. Our highest damage game was yesterday, 281k. Awesome ship. Now, you might say 58% win rate is pretty bad. But, of course, that is getting pulled up quite hard. Especially this month. Keep that in mind when you look at that win rate. Now, of course, my account win rate is quite higher, just on average. So you might think, well, 58% compared to yours is pretty bad. You're right, but I don't have a lot of games in it. You have to keep in mind. So as you can see, all the win rates here. Apart from that, what do I think about the ship? I think the ship is wonderful, by the way. I think the ship is great. The biggest downside it has is its squishiness. It's its external sitting citadel here, which makes it super squishy. And as you saw against the Musashi, we got citadeled. Like, okay, like we're angled, but he can still citadel us quite well. Because it just sits on the outside, there's no protection at all. Just keep this in mind when you're going to play the San Luis, okay? This external citadel. It sits at the front under the turret. I'm just gonna talk about it again. It sits in front, like, under the 2 turrets and under the back turret. So even if you're shooting a San Luis, these are where you want to be aiming. Not the middle necessarily, unless he's full broadside. But apart from that, the guns are grand. They're amazing, I think. The maneuverability is great. It's wonderful. The torps are usable sometimes, you know. But it's mostly up to the guns and the speed on the San Luis. It's not the armor, sure, it's the guns and the speed. I think the combination of both make for a great cruiser. Maybe not as good as Conde or Henry, but it is lower tier. And I think it's still awesome to play. So I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Please do let me know if you have any further questions or any points you want to add about the San Luis or any of your personal experiences in the San Luis. Really and truly, thank you for all the support, guys. We're en route to 10,000 subscribers, potentially by the end of the year. It's up to you guys, really. We're 210 subscribers away, so if you haven't subscribed to my channel, guys, I would greatly appreciate it. It would help me out a bunch. But I will see you in the next video, guys, and big fan.